So this concept kind of started when we were both at Ole Miss. We went to high school together at Ocean Springs High School. We went to Ole Miss together for a few years. And we would joke about it when he lived on South Lamar. He would have parties, have me over, and he was working with John Currents at the time. And we would always joke about what we're going to do in the future, and I was going to be the person that creates the space and everything, and he was going to be the chef that created the concept of the menu. Well, fast forward 10 years later, COVID had me shut down as an event venue on this location. Had Chef shut down over in New Orleans at Sobu, and he happened to call me after my father passed away, and was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry about your dad." And I was thinking in my head, I was like, I actually been meaning to call you because I'm thinking about changing my event venue into a restaurant. And I was like, do you want to come sit down and meet and just kind of discuss and go over what our possible business plan it would be? And he came down and sat down. 6 months later, we've now completely renovated this upstairs area and have turned it into what I think is a beautiful restaurant that will look good in downtown Biloxi.
I think Biloxi is rich in its like history and culture and its influence through all types of just people and immigration that has taken place here. And it's great, you know, you see it in like the people and the day-to-day lives, and also in the cuisine and the food. And so that's something that we like really wanted to represent and reflect upon on when we were coming up with this concept. We always wanted to kind of have something that was sustainable and, you know, was seasonal and would change throughout the season. And there's not a better place, in my opinion, to be than down here on Gulf Coast, Mississippi, because, you know, we have the fresh seafood daily. We also have a lot of great produce and protein vendors that are sourced locally that we can get stuff from.
So the artwork, what we decided is to choose, if you look at the stairway, it has all of what Biloxi used to be. We were the seafood capital of the world, and that's what we want to imprint on our menu and what we're serving. But we also take one side of our food cuisine comes from New Orleans, being the French Creole cuisine, and so we feel like the Jazz Fest posters, which my dad had collected his entire life going to the Jazz Festival, and I was able to put them up and implement them and give this room a little bit more color, go from the black and white up the stairs, and as soon as you get up here, you just get like colors just thrown in your face. It just looks beautiful to me. We have 100 seats inside. We also have an additional 40 seats outside for balcony use, which will be perfect in the fall during brunch or lunches. And even during the summer, you'll be surprised. We get a nice Gulf breeze that comes across it, and we've had multiple people that are pleasantly surprised that they can sit out there without sweating, without heavy humidity, and it feels perfect. So the way we came up with our bar is kind of to follow how the kitchen is done. We want fresh fruits that have come through. So if you look at our cocktail menu, we have the fresh watermelon fizz right now. We have blackberry mojitos right now. So everything fits that summertime. When it comes to the fall to the winter, it's going to follow which fruits are in season. So everything will be freshly mixed and muddled. When it comes to our whiskey selection, we have 18 different whiskeys, ranging from the basic Jim Beam to the more expensive Nulu, Peerless, and Joseph Magnus whiskeys.
Yeah, also we have a level 1 sommelier, Michael Howe, who is just amazing with pairing anything to our menu. We really work hard doing it during our pre-shifts to really work with the staff and like educate them on just the different type of pairings and what way they can really enhance the experience of the meal. Some of the things, it doesn't even have to be wine pairings. We do beer and cocktail pairings with all of our dishes. So it's really great to really have the experience and just to have a conversation with someone as knowledgeable as Michael. So yeah, this is an old Mississippi camp tradition food where you would go duck hunting and then, you know, have like your little duck scraps left over from where you would fab the duck up. And it was just something you'd always have bacon at your hunting camp. So it was just something that you could like put together, put in the fridge, or throw straight on the grill, and then have like a nice little bite-sized snack while you sit around the fire and drink beer. And so people always talk about, you know, those kind of like childhood foods and whatnot, things that kind of take you back to that like kind of special and fun place when you're kids, and that's one of those things that takes me like straight back to the hunting camp. We get this nice thick applewood bacon, and we just take a little, so that's a quarter of a jalapeno. So what we do is we split it in half, take out the ribs and seeds, because that's the most spicy part of a pepper. Then we take this cream cheese, season it with a little bit of blackening seasoning on the inside, and then the same thing with the duck meat, just let a little bit of that seasoning get on it, and then we wrap it in bacon. But the real trick here is, while we're wrapping it, We wrap it one full turn and then turn it 90 degrees, almost like a flag, and then wrap it to the top of it. And what that does is it creates this nice little pocket. So when you cook it, and once it sears and cools off, it forms that pocket that just keeps that cream cheese in there and makes it just delicious. And so we par bake the duck poppers off ahead of time, so one, to reduce the cooking time, but what we found out is what we do is we turn the oven to 550 degrees Fahrenheit. We toss the duck poppers in there on a sheet tray for about just a minute and 30 seconds, and what that does is it crisps the skin, but it leaves just the jalapeno, the cream cheese, and the duck meat inside still raw. But when it cools down, because of the way we fold it, it really creates a nice little pocket which keeps everything all inside when we're reheating them for orders. Place them right around a little bit of cream cheese in the middle, hold them in place. And then we top them with a blackberry coulis, which adds a nice little sweetness to a fatty dish. Topped off with a little micro spectrum. So we're gonna prep the pork belly for the banh mi. So what we have is a sous vide pork belly that was cooked in pork stock. What we're gonna do is just rub it to give it a little bit of good flavor and whatnot. And then also we're gonna submerge it 2/3 of the way in bark root beer, which we're gonna then pop it in the oven and braise it at a low and slow temperature. And so this is gonna really rehydrate that meat and add that kind of sweet characteristic of the bark root beer. We add a little bit of Creole mustard to it too. Just give it a lot of good flavor. And so we want to make sure every piece is just smothered, covered. Move our pork belly over here. We leave it skin side up, just so that the meat can really stay and be the part that's submerged in the root beer flavor. Yeah, this isn't the kind of deli sandwich you're going to find in New York. This is a true Biloxi po' boy. It really speaks to our huge Vietnamese population that we have down here, and their kind of cuisine and influence that they've had throughout the years on us, as well as just bark root beer being the blood of Biloxi, as they say. Due to the high amounts of bark root beer. So what you want to do is fill it up about 2/3 of the way. And then we're gonna pop this in the oven at about 225 degrees and let it just slowly cook to really incorporate that flavor, but not overcook the meat. Come back and just cut it on a bias. That is our bark root beer pork belly banh mi.